So for this video, we're talking about heuristics or rules of thumb. And the reason for this is I was bushwhacking like 500 feet of bushes and stuff in the woods the other day to make it easy for me to get from one point to another while I'm hunting. And I had a thought, I'm like pushing through, like there were ways I could do it. There were side paths I could have gone down that would have been more winding and less direct, because I literally just did a straight line, even though it was through some pretty thick bushes I had to cut through. And I had this idea, I'm like, the upfront work I'm doing now is going to save me so much time and effort down the road when I walk this path like 20, 30, 40 times this year alone, like next year, the year after. And I'm just like, wow, upfront work saves you so much time. I'm like, well, that's no crap, but like that lesson applies to so much in life. And I'm wondering, like, why are there rules like this that apply to so much? And then what are the downsides of applying these rules and looking for these rules and trying to live by the rules? And I just have some notes on my phone, and one of them is confirmation bias. These types of lessons are called heuristics or rules of thumb. They are universal because they tap into common experiences and truths about how the world works, such as effort yielding rewards or preparation preventing problems. Many great ideas across different fields, philosophy, psychology, business, even survival, are built around similar patterns, which is why they resonate across different situations. I'm like, okay, that's cool. Let's see what the potential downsides of trying to always look for these heuristics are. Confirmation bias. When you're looking for particular lessons or ideas, you might notice evidence that supports it and overlook evidence that contradicts it. This can lead you to see patterns that aren't really there or apply a principle that doesn't fit. I mean, I've definitely done that in my life. I've taken information from books and I've like autistically applied it to every situation I can possibly apply it to. And then I'm like, well, it's not working, therefore this must not work. An example of this that kind of fits the build is Born to Run. I literally took that book's idea of it is good to run barefoot, and I tried to apply that so rigidly that I'm like, okay, let's start running barefoot. And then my cardio from wrestling for years is so much stronger than my ligament strength and my connective tissue in my feet and ankles and calves that I wind up just injuring myself repeatedly. But some other ideas. Overgeneralization. Some lessons work well in specific contexts, but not universally. For example, the idea that more effort always leads to success is helpful in many areas, but can also lead to burnout or inefficiency if you don't recognize when a different approach would be more effective. Yeah, one of the universal rules that I still kind of live by, I haven't really found many situations which it doesn't apply, or really any in recent memory, is don't do work when your mind doesn't. And to put that into context, when your mind's so tired that you can't think straight, it's time to put down and like go take a rest, go take a nap, go to sleep. I don't know, message your teacher and ask them that you can turn it in late. Text your boss and let them know that's going to be late. Like, first off, communicate better so that you're not caught up against the deadline, and let them know 2, 3, 4 days ahead that you might not have it, and then give them updates of the progress as you go along. College teachers, I mean, so easy to get extensions. Just contact them like literally within 2 days before the project's due, because they get a lot of students texting them like the night before. Or if you contact them and you're like, hey, can I how many points will I lose if I submit this late, because I want to make sure it's up to my quality standards, but I just have so much stuff I'm working on right now that I won't be able to get in tonight. That also works really well. I want to get it up to my quality. I've used that even when like I literally had nothing done, because it was up to my quality. But yeah, when you work in, at least mental work, when you're tired, you just make mistakes. Even physical work, when you're tired, you get injured a lot. And then rigidity. People who rely on heuristics too often uh, can make relying on relying too heavily on universal lessons can make you resistant to change or new perspectives. If you found that one principle often works for you, it's easy to become stuck in that mindset and apply it too rigidly, even when circumstances have changed. Again, that thing about rest, like not doing work when your mind's tired. I haven't. I have broke that once actually. I was trying to make a deadline for putting up a website. Um, but usually, like 99% of the time, I always follow that one. But this also reminds me of a fun chess video I watched a while ago. And it was like 34 chess lessons. And I don't know, I'm self taught for chess. I just played way too many games and way too much. But I watched this video. I'm like, okay, let's see if there's anything here to learn. And he gives you like a bunch of rules, and then it's like lesson 34 is knowing when to break all of these rules because they're not actually rules; they're suggestions. And that's kind of what I was looking at here. It's like you have all of these heuristics, all of these rules of thumb, but you need to know when to break them. And I'm like, okay, well, what's the point of this then? Like, if you have rules of thumb, but they're not actually rules of thumb because you can't apply them to everything, what do you do? So the answer to that is you treat the rules of thumb as guidelines rather than absolute rules. They're kind of meant to simplify decision making and provide quick practical advice. So if you're ever wondering, should I follow this, should I not do this, what should I do? Lay out the scenarios, write them down. Like, if I do this, what could happen? Like, this could happen, this could happen, this could happen. Of those, what could happen next? And kind of play that out a little bit. There's a mosquito in here, but play that out a little bit. And then go back and go, like, well, if I do this other decision, what could happen? And then you look at those and you analyze the potential outcomes. But the rules of thumb work for quick, on-the-spot decision making. You can generally know you're going to be right about 95% of the time. But if you're ever uncertain about it, always play it out. Think deeply about why, how, what are the potential outcomes, how would those outcomes set me up. And it's kind of like in chess. When you think deeply, okay, it's another heuristic, comparing lessons from chess being lessons for life. But like, when you think deeply, like, not putting your horse on one of the edge squares because you're cutting off its movement. Like, it's a general rule of life that you shouldn't do that, but sometimes it's good to do that. And you kind of treat it in such a, my God, you literally treat it like you were a chess match where 9 times out of 10 you don't do it, and you use that as a way to make quick decisions. And that 10th time, you analyze the board deeper and you look at all the possible outcomes and you pick the best one. Holy crap. Again, lessons and comparisons for everything. Wow. Anyways, peace out.